The Story of Civilization, Part 2, The Life of Greece, being a history of Greek civilization from the beginnings and of civilization in the Near East from the death of Alexander to the Roman conquest, with an introduction on the prehistoric culture of Crete by Will Durant. Chapter 13, The Morals and Manners of the Athenians, Section 11, Old Age. Old age is feared and mourned beyond want by the life-loving Greeks. Even here, however, it has its consolations, for as the used-up body is returned like worn currency to the mint, it has the solace of seeing, before it is consumed, the fresh new life through which it cheats mortality. It is true that Greek history reveals cases of selfish carelessness or coarse insolence towards the old. Athenian society, commercial, individualistic, and innovating, tends to be unkind to old age. Respect for years goes with a religious and conservative society like Sparta's, while democracy, loosening all bonds with freedom, puts the accent on youth and favors the new against the old. Athenian history offers several instances of children taking over their parents' property without proof of imbecility in the elders. But Sophocles rescues himself from such an action simply by reading to the court some passages from his latest play. Athenian law commands that sons shall support their infirm or aged parents, and if they can help out in terms of needs, sure. Wants, let's not require that on people. And public opinion, which is always more fearful than the law, enjoins modesty and respect in the behavior of the young towards the old. Plata takes it for granted that a well-bred youth will be silent in the presence of his seniors unless he is asked to speak. There are in the literature many pictures of modest adolescence, and in the earlier dialogues of Plata are the Symposium of Xenophon, and there are touching stories of filial devotion like that of Orestes to Agamemnon, and of Antigone to Oedipus. When death comes, every precaution is taken that the soul of the departed shall be spared all avoidable suffering. Well, there's a difficulty and suffering aren't the same thing, but you know what they mean. The body must be buried or burned, else the soul will wander restlessly about the world and revenge itself upon its negligent posterity. It may, for example, reappear as a ghost and bring disease or disaster to plants and men. And as far as the dead have not led to the improper management of their estate, then we can't blame them for that. But the idea that they wander and get revenge on people, I don't know about that. Cremation is more popular. In the heroic age, burial in the classic. Burial was Macanaan and will survive into Christianity. Cremation apparently entered Greece with the Achaeans and the Dorians, whose nomad habits made it impossible the proper care of graves. Well, staying in one place and doing rituals at the same grave over and over again. But if they went through the area, one or the other is so obligatory among the Athenians that the victorious generals at Argi-Nassa are put to death for allowing a severe storm to deter them from recovering and burying their dead. Greek burial customs carry on old ways into the future. The corpse is bathed, anointed with perfumes, crowned with flowers, and dressed in the finest garments that the family can afford. An obol is placed between the teeth to pay Charon, the mythical boatman who ferries the dead across the Styx to Hades. It was custom among the Greeks to carry small change in the mouth. And one of the things about that is Oh, which is it the moon of Pluto, or is it one of those not quite planet intermediary things that you look at? I forget exactly what they named after Charon, or is it Charon? The body is placed in a coffin of pottery or wood. To have one foot in the coffin is already a proverb in Greece. Mourning is elaborate, black garments are worn, and the hair, or part of it, is shorn as a gift for the dead. On the third day, the corpse is carried on a bier in procession through the streets. While the women weep and beat their breasts, professional wailers, or dirge singers, may be hired for the occasion. Upon the sod of the covered grave, wine is poured to slake the dead's thirst, and animals may be sacrificed for its food. The mourners lay wreaths of flowers or cypress upon the tomb, and then return home to the funeral feast. Since the departed soul is believed to be present at this feast, sacred custom requires that of the dead nothing but good shall be spoken. And this is the source of an ancient saw, and perhaps of the unfailing lauds of our epitaphs. Periodically, the children visit the graves of their ancestors and offer them food and drink. After the battle of Plataea, where the Greeks of many cities have fallen, the Plataeans pledged themselves to provide for all the dead an annual repast. And 6 centuries later, in the days of Plutarch, this promise will still be performed. After death, the soul, separated from the body, dwells as an insubstantial shade in Hades. In Homer, only spirits guilty of exceptional or sacrilegious offense suffer punishment there. All the rest, saints and sinners alike, share an equal fate of endless prowling about dark Plata's realm. In the course of Greek history, a belief arises among the poorer classes in Hades as a place of expiation for sins. Aeschylus pictures Zeus as judging the dead there and punishing the guilty, though no word is said about rewarding the good. Only rarely do we find mention of the Blessed Isles or the Elysian Fields as heavens of eternal happiness for a few heroic souls. The thought of the gloomy fate awaiting nearly all the dead darkens Greek literature and makes Greek life less bright and cheerful than is fitting under such a sun. And that's... You can't look at some of the etymological chains and act like the word is the same word in a different language and a different time. You can say it comes from this etymologically, but you got to look at what it means in the language and time that you're looking at, because people are saying the aliyun and some other stuff in reference to the hereafter being expansive, and the stone or the prison or something like that. Well, that would be the current mythological reference to it, right?